Hey friends, welcome to our Midweek Moment. Pastor Nicole here. So glad you joined us. Well, this week we continued on in our sermon series, The Call, Answering God's Invitation, where we talked about the importance of building relationships and how God calls us to build relationships in our lives. Relationships are what is transformational. And so it's so important that we reach outside of our comfort zone and build those relationships. To talk about this story, we use the story from John of the woman at the well and how Jesus engages this Samaritan woman in conversation and in a relationship. So much so that it changes her life, so much so that she goes back to these people in her town that she has been avoiding in order to invite them to come and see the Messiah, Jesus. It is a brilliant story of how relationships and stepping outside of our comfort zone can really make a difference. As we were discussing this at Bible study this week, one of the participants said, what I love about this story is that it is a reminder that while we may have to step outside of our comfort zones to build a relationship, Jesus never steps outside his comfort zone to build a relationship. Isn't that so good? I just really had to take that in for a moment to think about, wow, you're right. Jesus doesn't ever have to step outside his comfort zone when it comes to relationships with us because he loves all of us and we are all welcome and we are all loved. It's an incredible truth that Jesus never steps outside of his comfort zone when he engages in a relationship with us. That said, Jesus does call us to build relationships, and sometimes we have to step outside of our comfort zones to do that. I think that for some people, building relationships is easier than for others, certainly. But I also think that sometimes we have an idea of who we want to build relationships with and who we do not want to build relationships with. And if we take a chapter out of Jesus's book here, and we learn from him that nobody is really truly outside of our comfort zone if we want to be like Jesus, because Jesus welcomes everybody. And so we too should welcome everybody and have a little more courage to invite conversation and relationship with others. So as you're going about your week, I hope that you will keep your eyes open and your ears open as you think about how God might be calling you to build relationships. Who is it that God might be inviting you to get to know better, to invite them maybe to come and see the goodness of God in the world? So I hope that you will just be on the lookout for who God might want you to build a relationship with this week. I want to invite you to come on Sunday, whether in person or online, as we wrap up our series and talk about how God calls us for such a time as this. That there is no, I'll do it later. I'll do it next week, next year, 10 years from now. God is calling us for such a time as this. He is calling us now to do his work in the world. And so come this weekend as we wrap up our series and talk about an incredible story in the Bible about a woman named Esther. So we'll see y'all there and have a great rest of your week, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.